But anyway, second topic. I know this kind of ended like 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I don't know, but we got to talk about the Mandalorian season two. I talked about, I think, the Mandalorian, my very first episode, and I don't know if it was the Mandalorian, my very first episode or not. But I talked Star Wars, my very first episode, and it was a huge rant, and it was a shitty quality. It was a shitty episode, but it was my very first one. I mean, what can you say? And this is my first one coming back, so this is probably shitty as well. But anyway, Mandalorian season two, I thought was pretty awesome. It was really great. I mean, I kind of have similar opinions about it than Mandalorian season one. Sorry, I think my chair keeps squeaking on my thing back there. But anyway, hope you're not picking that up on the mic. But anyway, yeah, I have similar opinions about season two to season one because they're pretty much a little bit the same. I mean, it's just like you kind of have to take the Mandalorian, as it is like an adventure of the week type of story. Not too many interesting characters are brought in. Like, characters are brought in and then they're gone. And they don't show up again ever or for a long time. Which kind of stinks because it's like, it makes me not really get invested in the story. But I think the effects, the way it looks, the costume design, the practical effects, and the world building really just make you enjoy the show, and it puts you in the Star Wars universe. It engrosses you, it immerses you in the Star Wars universe, and that is something the new Disney Star Wars films lacks heavily, I think. I mean, it doesn't lack the effects and the practical effects and the costume design and the makeup and all that stuff. The technical stuff they got down because they have a fuck ton of money. I mean, they should. That's expected. But what they don't have, I think, is proper world building. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm burping here, and that's the coffee. Proper world building and interesting characters. And I don't really think they have too many interesting characters in The Mandalorian, other than Mando himself, the Mandalorian himself. I really like him, but again, it's also pretty much just Pedro Pascal. Like, I just know I really like him, and I know he's him, so it's like, oh, well, I like you then. Because you don't really know anything about him. He doesn't have any, like, distinct characteristics other than he's just a badass. Like, that's his distinct characteristic. He's just a badass. Like an indestructible badass. Like he wears armor that can deflect lightsabers. Like, I mean, like, he's indestructible and he kills everything. That's him. That is the Mandalorian. But what makes it interesting is the relationship he has with Baby Yoda. Or with Grogu. I'm not calling him Grogu. He's Baby Yoda forever. Stop it, Mandalorian. Sorry, these might have a little bit of spoilers in it. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to keep them out, but I should have put a disclaimer right at the start of this discussion, but, again, I'm new still. After a whole year of doing this, well, half a year, and then took a half a year off, clearly. But anyway, back to The Mandalorian. I will say the ending, especially the last 3 episodes of the season, were really awesome, and I had a really great time watching it. Especially the last episode. I mean, I thought they were going to do something interesting with the villain, Moff Gideon, or, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. I thought they were actually going to do something really interesting with him, and then they just kind of reverted. It's like, oh no, he's just like a basic villain, which I was kind of disappointed with. I was like, oh man, they could have done something really cool there, but I guess, you still need to have the main villain of the story, I guess. Whatever. But I thought the very end of the season was very emotional, and it got me, and I was like, this is the first time I got, well, not the first time I got emotional with Disney Star Wars. I thought the last 3 episodes of the last season of Clone Wars was perfect. I think it's the best Star Wars has been since the original trilogy. I'm talking TV and movies, not video games, because then you would have to get into the Knights of the Old Republic and all that whole shit. But anyway, yes, the last 3 episodes of Clone Wars was incredibly emotional, and the last episode of The Mandalorian, a specific one moment, like the ending moment, was incredibly emotional, and it got me, and I think it got everyone. But it kind of like sums up the whole story now, though. I'm kind of concerned that I mean, lack for a better description, I feel like the Mandalorian kind of blew their load pretty early now. And it's like, well, I don't really need to see another season of this show. Like, what are they going to do? Like, go back to Mandalorian? I mean, that would be cool. I mean, I'll watch it. But, like, you got to give me interesting characters. Like, you got to give me some backstory on Mando and give him some other characteristics other than, like, yes, I get it, he's a badass, but, like, can we have something else about his past and, like, maybe confronting something that he's regretted in his past, or something dark that he has dealt with? I don't know. Like, give me something, with someone. Like, build another relationship with another character. I don't know. And another thing that, like, kind of bothers me about the Mandalorian is they always rely on the pre-existing characters to come in and, like, have cameos and, like, steal the show from the Mandalorian. Like, I'm watching the Mandalorian for the Mandalorian. I'm not really watching him for, spoiler, Ahsoka, or, I mean, what's that other Mandalorian's name, who, like, originally had that black saber, that chick, who is actually played by Katie Sackhoff, which I thought was really awesome. Starbuck. I thought that was the shit. I was really excited when I saw her in the show. I don't know why she's not in more things, because I think she's awesome, but whatever. It's cool that she's in something Star Wars. But anyway, getting back to the Mandalorian again with my many sidetracks. Yeah, like, I watch it for the Mandalorian. I love him. Like, develop him. Don't bring in these other older characters that I've already seen stories of them grow and have character arcs. I'm not here for them. I'm here for the Mandalorian. I want to see his character arc. And he did have one, like, being, like, a surrogate father for Baby Yoda, and that paid off at the end. And I was like, good, you paid that off. You did what you needed to do. But I think you might have did it a little bit too early now, because now the emotional center of the show is gone now. Another spoiler. Sorry. But that, like, the emotional center of that main relationship between Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian is now gone. So what are you gonna do now? Like, where's gonna be the heart of the show? Like, going from that, like, I know they're going to be taking a break from this show, and they're going to be doing this new Boba Fett show, which I guess, I mean, I'll watch it, but, I mean, I love Boba Fett, but, like, a whole show based around Boba Fett, and I don't know. I mean, who knows? It could work. I mean, I have doubts, and I have doubts that the new, another season of The Mandalorian is going to be any good either. But, I mean, again, I'll be there because I love Star Wars, I love being in the universe, and I love watching the effects, and that's the things that Disney Star Wars does on, like, an S-tier level, Like, they do an amazing job, like, the best job that they could do with the effects and, like, immersing you in the world. I mean, excluding the new Disney films, I guess, other than, like, Rogue One. I think Rogue One was really good, but anyway, I'm curious about the future of Star Wars, but I have a weird feeling that they're going to continue just to harken back to these older characters that have already been established by better stories, and they're just going to bring them in to just kind of bring in more audience members and just to make the most money. Like, they're in it to make money and not to create good Star Wars stories, which is the thing that I'm really annoyed by. It's like, can we create some other characters that are actually cool and interesting? I mean, like, you were going to do that in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Like, you established these characters, and I was like, oh, I'm actually interested in Rey and Finn and Poe and Kylo Ren. I'm like, oh, yeah, these characters are kind of cool. I'm really excited to see what they do with them. And then they discard Finn. They make Poe stupid and irrelevant as well. They make Rey a basic MacGuffin, or whatever you would call Mary Sue. which, I mean, it's annoying to describe her that, but I mean, that's what she is. I mean, she's indestructible and she's no interesting characteristics. And they kind of make Ben a bitch, which sucks. And he's sort of a badass, but not really. It's like you can be a badass and not be a whiny bitch at the same time. Like, I don't know. It's just, again, I don't want to try to rant about the films, but it's just, again, I think Star Wars can be better than Adventure of the Week, type of thing. Like, I love The Mandalorian. I thought season 2 was great. If you haven't watched The Mandalorian and you're a Star Wars fan, watch it. Do yourself a favor. Watch it. It is really good, but they do rely on, set pieces and nostalgia, like everything else in Star Wars, I guess, rather than character building and story development and all, and like important things. But, I mean, again, if that doesn't bother you, I mean, you probably watching it. I mean, I feel like everyone and their mother has watched The Mandalorian at this point. I mean, shit, my mom has actually watched The Mandalorian already. So, yeah. I mean, I guess it's probably late for me to talk about it, but I don't know. It's just, I think Star Wars can be better than The Mandalorian. It has the potential to be way better than The Mandalorian, but it doesn't have to take anything away from The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was still incredibly enjoyable and is incredibly well done. And that's hats off to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They do a great job, and all the directors too. They do a great job. So, yeah, I mean, check it out. I'm a little concerned about the future of Star Wars still. Even though The Mandalorian is a big plus, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I could be completely wrong. I can just be concerned over nothing. They could have all these new series that they're going to be releasing be awesome. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a future episode. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.